joined now by the running backs coach at the University of Houston, Kenneth Pope, and welcome to Houston. What made you want to come to U of H and be part of Coach Herman's staff?
Well, I had a little history with Coach Herman back at Iowa State University, and when he had the opportunity to come to University of Houston, that really made me excited. He gave me an opportunity to come. We visit right after this interview process. He said it was a chance that I have opportunity to come and work with him, and I'm excited about being here.
Now, of course, you have a couple running backs that performed well last season. Kenith and Ryan Jackson, that kind of got the moniker of thunder and lightning. How do you like your running backs in your system? What do they look like? How are they going to perform? Just describe your ideal running back in your system.
Well, after looking at the two you have here, Kenith Farrell and Ryan Jackson, they're extremely two different type of running back. You have one that runs with power and one that runs with quickness and deception. You like to have both situations. You like to have power, you like to have speed, you like to have the ability to make people miss in space. I think Ryan Jackson had the ability to make people miss in space, and I think, when you look at Kenith, he has the ability to either physically outmatch you, or he has the ability to make a power move and be able to separate and make plays with his feet. So I'm excited about both of those guys. And I think I'm looking at, when I look at, I've had two extremely good players, one at A&M University, Javorski Lane and Michael Goodson. Both of those guys was extremely good players, two different style type of back. I think you got to have two different styles. I like to have backs with different running ability, different styles, and I think, when you look at the big picture, the bottom line is being able to, make plays with your feet and be able to get the ball in the end zone. I think we have guys here that can do that. I think the two young men we signed this morning have that ability to make people miss in space.
One more question before we take a look at Gray and Justice, the two running backs that you have committed that sent in their NLIs, and we'll take a look at their video and get your thoughts on them. But first I wanted to ask you about, talking about the offense and talking to the staff about the offense. And they say it's going to be an up-tempo, no huddle, shotgun running type of offense. And out on the recruiting trails, talking to the running back prospects and people that you're recruiting at the position, how have they taken to that strategy, that up-tempo running style?
Well, I think they like it because it gives we put the back in various position on the field. We'll put them as wide receivers, we'll put them in motion, run the speed sweep, do some things of that nature. And I think, when you look at the young men today, they like a lot of variety. And we'll have a lot of variety in our offense, and I think they'll like what they see. We'll have power. We'll have stuff that make people miss in space, the counter plays, those type of things that I feel like young men today will enjoy doing.
We'll start talking about the two running backs you have coming in. Tyreek Gray's coming. Kevin Justice is coming. A couple of Texas kids. You have one from Lamar and Gray, and at least on paper, probably the most highly touted, a four-star kid. He appears on a lot of national rankings as one of the top 25 running backs in the nation. And watching him on film, what are some things that make him so highly touted?
Well, as you can tell right here, he can make people miss in space. He's got great acceleration. Off his cuts, he make nice cuts, nice moves. As you can see right here, he can make people miss in space, and he can separate. And those are things you like when you're looking at a running back. Can he separate and make people miss in space? He can do all of those things.
Yeah, he certainly has good speed, and saw him on a couple of those returning kicks. And as running backs, is that something that could potentially be the case, as you have some running backs set back there?
Yeah, the good thing about him, he can return kicks, he can turn punts, he can turn kickoffs and do those things, as you can tell right here. This guy has great vision, and when you're looking at a running back, you want to have a running back that has great vision and can make you miss in space. He has unbelievable instincts, and that's the thing I think that makes him special to us and to this program.
Well, you talked earlier about having your running backs do a lot of different things, maybe putting them out for some receiver spots, and that time they have them split out wide and was able to get it for a touchdown.
That's the neat thing about him. We will do those particular things with our running backs because, you have to be able to put people on space and put them on an island. And with this particular young man in particular, he can make people miss in space and get on one-on-one. If we can get him in one-on-one situations, we feel like we'll have a chance to have a productive day with that particular guy.
Now, I know a lot of people are excited about him, but you look at Kevin Justice, a lot of people excited about him as well over at Kilgore, where he set Kilgore High School record with 51 career touchdowns. Another one that's ranked really high as one of the best running backs in the state. What do you like about Kevin?
Well, Kevin, as you can tell, he can run with power, and he's got unbelievable speed, in my opinion. You know, he's a track guy. He's a big guy. He's 190 pounds. Probably gonna end up being about 200 pounds, and you know, you like a big back. He gonna end up being a big back. He's very explosive. He make people miss in space, and he just find a way to separate, and he, like I said here, you can see him using his power, and he's got great power and great explosiveness.
Well, you talked earlier about having Farrow and Jackson here, kind of the, both of them are speed and powerful, but you have one that's a little bit better than the other. And then you talked earlier about how you coach Lane and Goodson at a previous stop, and it looks like these two guys have a chance to complement each other pretty nicely as well.
It's no doubt when you look at these guys, and that's why we're so excited about the two guys coming in. You know, obviously we're going to graduate Ryan and Farrell next year. Hopefully these guys can step in and be a big plus for us.
All right. Whenever you take a look at the running backs that you have coming in, what are some challenges, some steps that they need to take to be ready to go by the time kickoff rolls around?
Well, the good thing that they give us an opportunity this year to, when our players come in the summertime, we get a chance to weight coach get a chance to work them out a little bit in the weight room. We get a chance to visit with them a little bit, so that gives them an opportunity to start a little bit faster than it used to be in the past. We had no ability to visit with our players when they was on campus. The only guy who was able to visit with the players and talk to them was the strength coach from that standpoint of working them out. Now we get a chance to get them ahead in the process.
Well, Coach, you have good backs here. You have some good backs coming in. You might be one of the happiest guys in the office.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And we'll, I think it's fun times to come, and we're looking forward to working with these guys and coaching these guys. And when you look at, hopefully, after the end of the season, we're feeling good about the recruits we have in, and we feel good about the two young men that are playing for us right now, and that's Kenith Farrell and Ryan Jackson.
Well, Coach Pope, thanks for taking time today.
Thank you.
Coach.